Hello and welcome everyone to the second season of the Let's Ask Expert initiative, where in every episode, with our guests, we share knowledge, experience, and practical appliance of various different soft skills. As each topic is selected by our audience at the end of the episode, we encourage everyone to stay till the end to choose what will be the topic for the episode 12.
At the end of episode 10, you had the opportunity to choose 4 topics to select. You had the teamwork, leadership, charisma, and influence, and leadership had the highest number of votes to select. Therefore, it is my great pleasure to invite wonderful experts that will be sharing with you today their thoughts, their opinion, their expertise, and experience in the area of leadership. Starting with the first guest that I would like to introduce here, Evgeny Parachnievich. So, Eugene, Zhenya, Evgeny, could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
So many names. Thank you, Jan. My name is Evgeny Parachnievich. I'm with EPAM for a while, more than 20 years already. Then introduce myself as a delivery manager, as a still hands-on developer. I did and doing a lot of training and mentoring in project and delivery management. Now I'm with EPAM Switzerland, working with Swiss clients and international ones. That's about me.
And I remember you mentioned 22 years at EPAM. I remember the first time we met, you told me about the story when EPAM was just 800 people. Now look how big the company is. So it's also a very nice way to see the evolution and also how the role of the leader evolved. So I'm sure you have lots of interesting insights for us today.
Let's see. So it was even less than 300 people when I joined.
Oh, even
less.
Well,
Yeah.
Nice. We also have with us today Ewelina Szwed. So Ewelina, welcome to our session.
Yeah, hi Jan and hi all. So my story is smaller and is shorter than for Evgeny. I'm a little bit more than 4 years in EPAM, but already I lead in the past our Grodno MBA community because I'm from Belarus, from Grodno, and now I'm a leader of soft skills stream. And I'm a business analyst and have my own activities and some projects. But as Jan mentioned, in the past I was a teacher, so it's also connected with this leadership experience. And thanks for your attention.
And I think you also have a very inspiring story behind, because you are a very good example of the fact that you don't need to have the managerial title, you don't need to have the lead in the position to lead an initiative, right? So that's, for me, this is such an amazing inspiration story that we'll drill down into details on today's session. So I'm sure our audience will be happy to hear how you managed to find strength, courage, and skills to be able to lead the whole soft skills stream initiative. So I'm super happy to have you here with us. And last but not least, we also have with us Julia Stankiewicz. So Julia, welcome to our episode.
Yes, hi colleagues, happy to join. So I'm working with EPAM for more than 4 years already in leadership excellence programs. So actually we are designing the programs for designing and delivering leadership programs, but not only, we are also working with succession management themes and organizational development. I'm EPAM Organizational Development Competency Center co-lead, so a part of the trainings are also facilitate strategic planning sessions, no-care session, and other facilitations. And overall, I have more than 20 years experience as a leading groups, as a facilitator and trainer. So I'm happy to be here to share also my perspective, I would say more from the educator point of view, from the trainer point of view.
So not only a leader by a position, but also training future leaders. So again, I'm sure our audience will benefit from your answers today. So there's nothing more for me to say, but let us just begin our conversation on today's topic of the leadership. And I'm stopping sharing the screen. And the first question that I have for you is, each and every one of you have different background, have different experience, and different upbringing to this point in your career to where you are at this particular moment. So each and every one of you will have different definition of leadership. And the first question which I have for you is, what is leadership for you? How would you define leadership? So maybe Julia, maybe let's start with you, as you were the last one to introduce. Maybe you can be the first one to answer.
Yeah, I would define it very simple. It's an ability to lead others, to influence and guide others. But part of the ability, I would also invite you to consider this, to take it as a role. Yeah, like to step in some, when we are stepping in some situation, taking the lead. Yeah, and this can be a variety of situations. It can be by role, by function, or by nature or situation that we are taking kind of this choice to lead others.
Mm-hmm. Evelina?
Okay, great question. So, from my point of view, leader is a person who can unite different people, but with close values around some main purpose. And this is a great moment in the leadership, that you can create this great environment condition for this personal development for people that you unite, and to get achievement of this collective work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for example, unite under those banners like IPAM values, strive for
Yeah.
excellence, act as a team, value the
For
individual.
me, this is really important. When people feel values, they don't feel this formal level that, okay, we walk, but when they have this feeling of some importance of what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, when they walk the walk and not talk the talk, right? When they basically
That's true.
follow the path.
Mhm.
Evgeny?
That's a really good question. And recently I've got just another definition of the leadership, and this time I really liked it. And it was said that leadership is the courage to take action when no one else does.
Mm,
And
okay.
it was a redefinition for me that indeed that's how I did it. So stand up
Yeah.
and do the things when no one else does. Yeah, that's let's use this as my definition now.
This is
Who else
actually
said not me?
yeah, this is actually interesting that there is this book by Erich Fromm, German philosopher, Escape from Freedom, who actually mentioned that every person who is not picking up a certain responsibility or certain task or activity gives an opportunity for others to pick this up, right? So for some, it might be identified as a problem, obstacle, challenge. For us, it might be an opportunity to step out of the role and do something else and show that some things can be done. So, when was the first moment in your career that you saw yourself as a leader? Where was the first opportunity in your career that you thought, okay, maybe this is something I can go towards to? Zhenya.
No, I will not be talking about formal assignment as a lead,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it started a long time ago when I used to work as a software developer. And at some point of time, I started to notice that, okay, there are so many possibilities, and we are discussing the things, and people know about this, but they keep silence.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, one proposal, another proposal, it's a technical proposal. Later, it was about more, let's assign different people when you think to different tasks because it will give us some advantages. And yeah, this is step by step. So very first I can remember it's during the development times.
Mm-hmm. Evelina, how does for you? When did you saw
Uh-huh.
that spark in yourself to take on the
Um,
leadership role?
yeah, so I had maybe a specific case here when I before the EPAM, I took part in one great women writing school, and it happens that in this on this project they didn't have the leader who can coordinate the work of authors. And for me, it was so great opportunity to work with super talented women that had really different experience, lifestyles, but to help them to find motivation and internal interest to find the ability to write between their work, between their home routine, families, and create these great articles. So for me, it was challenging but very inspiring because when you motivate people and you can see the results, this very interesting experience in these texts provided by these women, yeah, it was really beautiful. And after I feel this confidence that I can do this work. Yeah. Jan, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
I found myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, plus I think it's also important to find people who are, inspiring around you, because you
Yeah.
kind of can feed off that energy, of the inspiration of them, right?
Yeah, and this is also something that can support in leadership when this cycle of energy.
Mm-hmm. Julia, how it was for you?
Yeah, I cannot think also of like the first experience, but I would say that would be also some natural stepping in, like as you were saying, like some things that I wanted to achieve, and then I would relate also to Eugenius, for example, definition. No one else would take this role, yeah, and then I would step in, and then like one I would say strong experience, personal experience of leadership for me was also related, and as Evelina said, to the purpose, because I really wanted, and that was outside of work, I really wanted to have public lectures in science, and there were no at the moment in the city. And then I was getting the team because I was not I was realizing that it's not possible to do on my own. Yeah, so this needs teamwork and it's need partnership. Yeah, so then it was also like quite a strong experience, I would say, and it started also with a purpose, I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Zhenya, you mentioned an interesting thing about picking up where no one wants to pick up, and I had a interesting case from my own life where when I volunteered for the army, there was a general who came for the morning briefing, and he asked 250 soldiers, "Are there any areas that we would improve in the army?" And 250 soldiers were silent, and only one of them raised a hand and said, "Private Mazurek would like to report." But I didn't know that it was a rhetorical question, and that basically they are not looking for ways to improve. They just look for satisfaction of people doing their job, right? So that was my mistake, which I've learned very early in my life. But I was wondering, does any one of you have any kind of mistakes that you've made as a leader, what you've learned from them, and how it may be also adjusted your course? Because sometimes it is, they are saying that there are no experienced sailors on the calm sea, right? And sometimes it's about the roughness of experience that we can learn from. So, Zhenya, did you have any kind of experience like that?
A lot of, sure. So a lot of failures, a lot of things I did wrong, and a lot of things maybe I wouldn't do. But it's not about not doing the things, because for sure, as a leader, you can do a lot of mistakes. You can select the wrong direction, but it's all about how you cope with it.
So
And
exactly, how not to get discouraged, how keep on carrying on.
just do it again until you will success. So
Okay.
change something, find another way, find maybe another people to do the thing with. But if you believe in something, you are just doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yulia, did you have any kind of lessons in your life of leadership that
so many, yeah. But then when I was reflecting on my leadership style, I would say like I would see that sometimes like some gaps, or some challenges are coming from, I would say this, like my colleagues call it framing function, yeah. That sometimes the expectations, I would not set the expectations clear, yeah. Like I would not be in agreeing from the start with people how the result should look like, and I would be having my own picture of what should be done there, yeah. Like, and then people would have their own pictures, and then we would realize it somewhere like at some point, yeah, somewhere in the middle or somewhere when we need to align or see kind of coming closer to the result. So it's also, and sometimes it's also about the role, yeah. Like, because we also have talking about the leadership, and I think we are on a quite, by my opinion, quite a challenging topic here, because it's very wide. It's fascinating because it's wide, but it's also a bit of the challenge to talk about the leaders because it's a big leadership, because it's a big topic. So I would say here with the framing, it's also framing the expectations and your role as a leader, yeah. Like, because we might also have different styles in leadership, so it's also kind of the way your own approach to the leadership, what you would be, for example, intervening or not intervening, what you would be expecting again, yeah. So that was also my experience when I was not framing, let's say, well enough or clear enough.
I think also a very important aspect is taking into consideration the cultural aspect of leadership, yeah, because sometimes in some cultures with the role of leader there are also certain expectations in terms of behavior or following a certain style of leading, right? So that might be also useful to when setting those
Definitely.
boundaries, taking the cultural aspect as well.
Definitely, there will be many like elements, especially dimension. This cultural dimension is important. Yeah, this kind of more. Also, I would say like kind of more. It's also related to the social dimension. It can be also the dimension of the corporate culture. Yeah, like what is the corporate culture, and then what has been the corporate culture before. For example, if the new person is joining, or what also the kind of our personal perceptions of what the leader should be, yeah, like should do or should not do, like about ourselves in the role of the leader, but also to the others, yeah. Thanks.
Everina, what about yourself? Did you have any kind of important lessons in your life in terms of leadership that guided or adjusted your course that you took?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I also made a lot of mistakes, but when I'm thinking about this question and main lessons, first of all, it was learn not to be a parent for your team, but to be using this psychological language to communicate as adult with adults, not to take so many responsibility and control leading the people, and share this responsibility with them, because when you feel really involved in some result, and when you feel this fire of this purpose, it is not easy to understand that people around, they also can take their own responsibilities. They are really great, and that you are maybe a heart of the team or head, but you're not a whole whole team. And also, of course, imposter syndrome, because also when you have so many talented, crazy people around, and you feel, am I good enough to take care about these people and to make main decisions? How can I decide when, for example, some people, and because Jan is also a part of soft skills stream, when firstly I saw that, oh my God, he's a chief, how can I propose and decide something when the person is so has so high level and more experience? And but this is also a strong side of the leadership, because it motivates you to this self-reflection when you try to be better and better and to learn more.
Hmm. And
Mhm.
you have the past experience of being a teacher, and all of you conducted trainings or did mentoring in the past. And I would like to ask
Mm.
you, when standing in front of a classroom or in front of a group that you are teaching, how to appear as this, charismatic leader, as the person who somehow attracts the attention of the audience, and how to get the focus of the group in that case, in that scenario. So Evelina, was your
Oh my God,
teacher experience helpful in that aspect?
that was crazy. You know, this feeling to be so afraid because when you see this big class, and you understand that, for example, teenagers, they are laughing, they are looking on you, especially when you're also young after the university. It's so terrifying. But then when again you return this idea, what I do here, and when you can find your internal interest, when uh, when you feel that what you are doing is interesting for yourself, it inspired people, it works. And then you when you focus not what these children will think about me, but you provide ideas, you provide questions, and you can see this fire in their eyes, and this is so great feeling.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
again,
so
energizing, right?
energizing, yeah. And again, to do your job in a good way, you should have your own understanding what I'm doing here.
Hmm.
Mm.
Julia, what's your take on this? How do you
I
interact
would
with that group?
relate also to the imposter syndrome, what Valina you shared, and I think what helps me first maybe with imposter syndrome, because this is also similar feeling sometimes, and what helps me there is also to lean on my role, because sometimes it's, and especially visible, for example, when I'm coming in the role of facilitator, but it's also your how do you perceive the role of the leader, yeah, because when I'm coming to within my role of facilitator, my task is to help people to make the decisions smooth, to agree fast, yeah, to be more effective as a group. And then for me, sometimes it's challenging to work, personally challenging, yes, to work with people much more senior managers or much more experienced people, yeah. So there I'm relying like this confidence, what it is coming from my role, that anyway as a group, when we're working with the groups, the teams, the groups, they would need someone to help them to align, to discuss, to frame the process, yeah. So there I'm also kind of relying on the on this role, I would say. And this is also could be also often a leader's role, yeah, like what how you are leading the team, and then when we talk about being present in terms of the audience, it's also, I would relate to this interest, what you want to say, this passion, yeah, that believing in what you want to say. But there also kind of, I would say, the experience itself help, yeah. The more you
Hmm.
talk to in front of other people, the more experience you have, and but it also experience with a reflection, yeah, like when what went good, what wasn't, yeah. So it also comes, but it also within the reflection is especially important to build, to keep your focus of attention, not also what I did not do so well enough, yeah, but also what I did well already, yeah. So this is where you are building this confidence that helps, then helps to come to people further and talk. And even now, like it's also with remote setting, I don't know how you experience remote setting, but sometimes it's even more like challenge, I would say, rather than we would sit in one room, yeah. But I always keep I think that there are people behind it. Sometimes even people are without cameras, yeah, we don't see all, yeah. But I remember that this is the contact now, so I'm enjoying being in this contact.
Hmm. And I think, you just mentioned about this imposter syndrome, but one thing also about this constant improvement is the fact not to fall or to the trap of something like my best isn't my good enough. Meaning that, like perfectionism sometimes might be also our big enemy, right? So it's
Yeah, and
also trying to
That's
find the right
true.
balance.
And I think it's also the way to whom we compare, yeah, because often our focus of attention, natural like a comparison comes to, I don't know, like the leaders that we admire or some other people, yeah, like, but if we start to compare to ourselves, yeah, I could imagine that, like, I don't know, months ago I was less confident. Now I'm more confident. I'm feeling other way, yeah. So it's also seeing like our own progress, because we are from different backgrounds with our own stories. So for some people it might be much natural things, or look at least much more natural. And then also I think this sharing stories, that also helps, because it may look that it's very simple for the person to talk, yeah, but it may not be so, yeah. Like for me, even with my role of the trainer and facilitator that I was sharing like 20 years, it took me some time to realize that actually I'm a shy person, yeah, that you would not assume from my role, yeah, like being quite on the training with the groups, yeah, like looking confident, but still it takes some energy.
Fake it till you
Yeah.
make it, right?
Yeah, and
Mhm.
yeah, sorry, I wanted to add to what Yulia says, that you never really know how many steps already made the person who is as God for you, some super senior, that what problems this person faced in the past, and how many again steps he made to come to this moment that you are able to observe now.
Yeah, like we just see the final effect, right? We don't see the struggle, we don't see things behind the curtains. But also in terms of comparison, I don't know why I just remembered a story like from the school, that whenever my mom was coming back from the teachers meeting, she was like, "Oh, why can't you be more like Piotr? He has such a good grade." And I said, "Well, but I'm better than Tomek, and because Tomek has worse grades, I don't. Why should I care about other kids, right?" It's like, it's like there's no one single situation, right? But yeah, what about yourself? Because you've also conducted trainings, you've conducted mentorings. Is there also a difference between being a trainer and a mentor when you need to, act in the role of a leader?
Yes, it is. For me, being in front of the audience, it was always stress. I'm a pretty introverted person, so for me to go and stand in front of people presenting something was really hard. But for me, it was a skill. It was a skill that I was able to master step by step. Doing the trainings, doing the presentation, seeing how the people behave, what is the feedback from the audience, improving, repeating, reading more. And even when I was thinking that I'm doing this pretty well, I was doing presentations, I was staying in front of like hundreds of people, doing my speeches, and it was okay. Just maybe a few years ago, I've joined a training, and one of the guys from the consulting company was there helping doing this, how to do the presentations. And he also took a camera. We did some presentations, and then we had like a second opinion how you are looking from a side on yourself. And it was like, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, you are doing this. There are things that people are doing even without understanding that they're doing something. So it's always good to have a feedback from the side. It's always good to learn some new techniques and see, okay, will it work for me? Is it natural for me or not? And if you have a chance to present somewhere, to speak somewhere, just use it, especially if they will be recorded. And for the second part of your question about differences between mentoring and teaching, sure. When you're doing a mentoring, it's a one-to-one conversation. So maybe it's not so stressful because there's only one person in front of which you can embarrass yourself. I'm kidding, but that's the main difference. So when you are talking to an audience, you need to be very, let's say, proactive, whom you are talking to, where your attention is going, switching. So it's a skill, you need to master it, but it's also additional work. When you are talking person to person, it's just conversation.
Hmm. Now, a good leader, there is this expectation that good leader should inspire others, right, to strive for excellence. But question is, sometimes people might feel that they lack authority or they don't have necessarily are not empowered in the place because they might not have the position, the title. Uh, so, how do you think people can inspire and motivate others without relying on their authority, title, managerial position? What would be your suggestion where people can start? Maybe Julia, from the theoretical standpoint of view, maybe there are some good trainings or some good materials.
Definitely, and I think this is also the skill that is when we talk basically, yes, about the leadership as a core. Yeah, this is when you inspire that it's you're not using other mechanisms that, for example, like when in the role of manager, like the person would have. Yeah, so there, I think, and I think it's also very needed skill because then now the approach to the leadership also change. If we look into the leadership concepts, like they're more, I would say, the skill of working in horizontal team and also leadership in horizontal team. Because when we sometimes may have the perception of the horizontal team, it doesn't mean that the leadership is not there. It's there. It's just different. Yeah, so that different people may step in some moments. So there are different procedures. So well, I would say that the first thing is to practice to step in that role. Yeah, like and if to not, there are like also different resources. I would say when you can kind of learn in a traditional way. When we talk about learning as a trainings, yeah, like or reading books or mentorship, coaching, and these are really important parts. This is also what will not only build the start of your path, yeah, but also keep you on this path, yeah, because as you see, and also like with Evgeny's example, we are always learning, yeah, like we always need to advance and also to see like the new, I would say the new tasks and new challenges that are coming. So, but a part of this, I think it's also important to take this role, yeah, like to take the initiative or to take the task, yeah, and also organize others. And they're not only with the experience, yeah, like experience, which also helps you to get confident, but also this reflection, yeah, how it went, what does it mean to you, yeah, like because also with the learning, especially when we rely a lot on knowledge, yeah, there might be different concepts. There are like many books on leadership, yeah, but then there might be your own leadership dilemmas based on again your story, your background, your personality, your experience.
Or the
uh,
context.
in the context also, right, yes, and also the context and within these dilemmas, it's within reflection you can find the answers also together with the other people, with the feedback, yeah, like again as we say again example, yeah, or with some sharing other ways. So there are like the diversity of ways. We can also maybe dive in some particular ones. Let's see how we go further, yeah, with the talk.
Hmm. Evelina, so that was a bit about the theory, but about the practice. So you are working in the global BA community in the soft skills stream. You have their product managers, you have their lead BAs, chief BAs, you have advanced engineering BAs in that group, and you are leading there. So how it is when it comes to like leading, not relying on the authority of the title, but just doing that in practice.
Okay, yes, the question is a little bit tricky, but I think we live in such world where question of authority is not so important that it was specifically in our culture, and I think that main moment here is that you need to have a confidence as a leader because people around they feel it, and if you will not have this confidence, people will not feel motivated. And but in the same way you should give them inspiration, feedback, and also each person need to be seen. and not need to feel valued. And if you will share that you appreciate work that people do in your team, it will return this. It will work as an authority for you as a leader here.
So again, unifying under the banner, value the individual, right?
Yeah, and I think that we discussed previously this great course "I'm Remarkable," where each person return and say what remarkable she or he done in his work, in his life, and you need to create such environment where the person feels that they are remarkable, they are great in their work, and it is from my perspective, the base of leadership and the base of this authority, not formal, but this informal that more that better work for our common world. Yeah.
Żenia?
Maybe
Yeah.
Jenia has different.
No, here it's very, very similar. So
Mhm.
from one side, it's hard to imagine the situation right now when there is no formal assessment or assignment of the person. So, okay, still possible. In this case, I believe that people will be looking on um, how successful your proposals are, or how successful you are in what you are doing. So if your actions, your proposals leading to the common benefit, people will see and recognize this. This will, in some pretty short sometimes period, will give you a formal authority. Then people will start to recognize you. So here you will be dealing from the formal positions. People will say, okay, this is our most senior developer. He knows the things. He knows how to do this. Let's ask. Or if it was a proposal another, the team benefited from it. Okay, again, you can be promoted as a leader. You will get the formal. So
Again, picking up the role and trying.
Picking up the role, yes.
But sometimes, we have this. You mentioned, Evelina and Julia, about the confidence and about charisma. And at EPAM, we have this theory about the perfect team player, that a perfect team player is humble, hungry, smart, right? And at the same time, how to tackle that against this confidence and how to merge together being a leader who is, appearing in front of the group confidently and with big charisma, but at the same time remaining humble, hungry, smart, having this humility. How to find the right balance between one and another? Zhenya, what do you think?
That's a tricky question.
It always
yes,
is.
Ideal, hungry, humble, and smart. But another motto we have is also result relentlessly, right? We're delivering.
And strive for excellence, and
strive for excellence. Yeah, there are quite a many. So it's yes, you're right. It's about balance. Somehow you need to find this for yourself, and maybe also.
And as a question, how did you find in your case, taking your experience into consideration?
No, maybe in my case there will be a bit bias into the direction of being more confident, because I prefer to between being unconfident and being wrong. I would rather be wrong but confident. It will inspire the team. It will not. It will still allow me to fix maybe something or admit that yes, I was wrong. Let's select another direction and go there. So for me, confidence. But I do not see how this conflicts with the values. Being humble doesn't mean not being confident.
Yeah, because I think there's also this. We need to draw the line between being confident and being arrogant, right? Because this is also like two separate
Yes.
separate things. Julia, what is your take on this?
Yes, for me, they are also coming together. Yeah, and when we talk about the confidence, I would keep put here, for example, to the executive presence. Yeah, a phenomenon. When it's an ability to inspire confidence. Yeah, so even if we deconstruct it, like there are many models again. Yeah, like there are many models. How does it? What is consist of? But there will be also part which is relates to our self confidence, but also it's often about the passion. Yes, something that we talked not only about the confidence, but the passion that we have towards what we do, or the project, or work, yeah, like, or our profession. And then there is also the part which is about the others, yeah, like about the others that we are interacting with, but that we are leading. Yes, it's about the relationship with the others. So for me, and this also goes together with this humble, hungry people smart concept. And it is also kind of a balance as such. And I think it's what is important to in own on own leadership authentic style, defining it, yeah, is also to look into the models of framework. I'm actually fond of frameworks in a way that it also helps a bit to define what is there. Yeah, when we talk about the leadership, I would look to different leadership frameworks and look what are the competences there, like. And there you can also see where are your natural or not natural, but developed, trained, strong sides, and what is there that is still not yet strong. Yes, so this is where you can also go to balance yourself, and this will be this will be also like unique, yeah, quite unique to some extent, unique profile, yeah, or your leadership style, I would say. Yeah, so here the support could be some frameworks, or like looking what is there, and this, and seeing what is strong already, again seeing through self-reflection, self-assessment, or with the feedback, working with the mentors or coach. And also groups are really helpful, like either learning in the group, because within the group you can also have a lot of experience where you could recognize these patterns, yeah, that you have. But also not only training groups, but also the teams, yeah, like being in the group, it helps us a lot to know not only about the others, but to know a lot about ourselves, if you have this space and time for reflection. Yeah.
And self-awareness as well, very important
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah.
Elena, what
Oh
about
my
you?
God, you practically say what I had on my tongue, because
Well,
I,
great minds think alike, right? So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, I wanted to say that, yeah, a good leader, and maybe the key definition of a good leader is awareness. And I don't see the conflict here to be a confident and to be empathic enough, uh, because confidence is your feeling, is that you share it with the team and you create this environment. But empathy is a basic, because you cannot work with different people, and you shouldn't work with different people if you don't have empathy at all, because you need to feel well-being in the team. Because if we speak on the business language, you will not provide a good result if team feel bad, if there is not no well-being, if people are demotivated. And so these areas, they work together, and a good leader should have feeling of it and connection to understand how my teammates feel, whether they uh, whether they are
emotional intelligence.
happy. Yeah, emotional
When,
intelligence. Yeah, I think now we live in the world where, again, we don't need only a high level of IQ that was in the past, but you need to have a good level of emotional intelligence as well to be a great leader. So for me, no conflict here. You only need to work and to develop these areas.
Julia, It seems like you have a comment.
I'm kind of reacting to our good leader. Yeah, like I think it's somewhere in our discussion, and I think it's also very, I would say, attractive. Yeah, like if you would put like, I don't know, a title, how to be a good leader, I would read it. Yeah, I think it would be natural that many people would read it. Yeah, like it's, but for me, it's also this idea of good leader. It's also a lot about the context, I think, because there are like books, yeah, like on leadership and how to be like, let's say, take it as a good leader, yeah, or something that they are coming from some particular context, yeah, or within the, it can be within the time, with the how the leadership concepts evolving, yeah, with the time. Let's say even we say like the global level, yeah. It can be also this cultural context that we already took a bit, yeah. That might be also the nature, the context of the task, yeah, or the situations, yeah. So I would say here it's hard to say what is like the key, yeah. Like we can look into the variety of the competences, and there will be like also a lot of them, yeah. And it's also sometimes could be kind of unreachable goal, yeah, like kind of to apply or to be able to perform on the level. But it's also, I think, good to remember about the context, yeah, that it might be some particular kind of interventions, choices that are needed for the, also in terms of the leadership, yeah, like what is important as from your role as a leader for this particular team, for this particular context, yeah, that whatever context you have, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now we touch the topic of emotional intelligence, caring for the other person, empathy. And let's look at this from the now business standpoint of view. So, Zhenya, you as the delivery manager, there is a tight deadline on the project. And there is an expectation that we need to deliver by the end of the month or else. And what we understand by what else or else, there might be tons of things there. So how in that case combine how to find the right balance between caring for our team members, being the right leader, not taking the work by ourselves and letting other also, feel the exposure. But at the same time, focus on the delivery date and focus um, on the team itself.
I like to ask the same questions during the interviews for the managers, to the managers. And I remember one of the very good answers that I got from one of my former colleagues in Gdańsk, and he said, there is a time to discuss the things, and there is a time to do the things. So you will not be successful as a leader if you will push all the time. You will burn out your team and with all the sequences. But at the same time, you give a space, you work with the people, and you show yourself that, yes, you're open to slow down in some places, to speed up in another. And when you have that people trust, you can explain that, guys, it's the end of month is coming. Embrace yourself. Let's do this push, and we need to deliver. But at the same time, what is I think significant here is that you should be a part of this push, a part of this pursuit. You cannot say, guys, we need to deliver, stand up and go home at 6 p.m., for example, and like assuming that your team will stay till 11 until the problem will be fixed. You need to be a part of the team. So if it's a hard time, it's a hard time for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your skin in the game, people also see and recognize this, and they trying to do the best they can.
And I think also if you're an inspiring leader, people will also do whatever they can not to let the leader down as well, right? So that's also
That's another level, I think.
Yeah, and
Evelina, thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted to support Evgeny here that to be honest with the team is really important. And if you share it with the guys, okay, we have now such tough period of time when we need to be strong and to provide some result. If previously the team see you as a more accurate and adequate leader, and they understand that, okay, this is only this 1 month when we need to work strongly. They will also appreciate your honesty and will do it. We'll understand that this is need and now and only some period of time. And after, of course, of this period, you need to share with the people that you that they are great guys, and maybe make some retrospective of results that they done during this period.
Julia?
Yes, maybe I'm today more on the philosophical side, but like for me, it's a bit like, this philosophical situation about result and process, yeah, and which is always present, yeah, like, and what it would, and here with this situation, this is obviously where the result need to come to the first place to have the priority, yeah, where we would kind of not put in a like. But then the process is important, and it's also important how you were describing, like the connection with people, like this kind of natural ways how to keep the motivation of people, yeah, like keep this team spirit. I think this is also like this kind of balance. It's also natural when at some point the process would be important to have time to kind of to be with the team, yeah, discuss the things, how they were going and everything. But there is time when we need to focus on the result, yeah. And then again, it's when the team would lose this focus on the results, it's also get a not effective team, yeah, because this is also what builds people together around the purpose. Normally, we have the teams around the purpose, whether it's we are uniting, yeah, like in some group or initiative, whether this is the purpose that is coming by nature of our work or task of the project, yeah. So here I would say that this is also kind of a natural way, but it's just that we need to, as leaders, I believe we need to keep in mind these two, yeah, and kind of be aware that at that moment we need to kind of put more attention to the to result and the support team in that, and then at some point to see that we have also this process, because when we're talking, especially when we're talking about the groups and the teams, there is always like this part of this group dynamics, yeah, that we need to keep in mind, and also kind of motivate and keep the spirit of the team or the group.
Now, sometimes there is this question on the assessment, and when you mentioned about this, that you sometimes ask this question to the candidates. But where is the line between leadership and between management?
Leadership is about driving. As we started, it's about standing up and doing the things. Management, for me, it's more formal. When you are assigned to do the things and people doing things because they are like reporting to you. And there was also, I remember, a definition that leaders and managers, they are focusing on different things. Management, it's more about execution. And leadership, it's more about defining where are we going. Defining the strategy, it's more on strategic level. We need to, this direction people, defining direction people follow, and managers help to drive this.
Julia, where would you draw the line?
I would say this, that yeah, like I would maybe second on this result and process, yeah, because then with the manager, this is by the function, yeah, like this result and focus on the result will be important, and then with the leaders, it's also the process important, because this is about the team, the let's say the people that you work with. And I would say that these are very often come together. Even as I was mentioning, I love this leadership frameworks. Even within the competence, you can also see that sometimes these are like pure leadership competences, but sometimes it's also managers' competences. There's sometimes even within the frameworks, within the context, they can be mixed. Yeah, so These roles are coming together often, and this is natural because we would feel, for example, when something is wrong, when it's like the manager is lacking the leadership skills, yes, because then it would be felt. But we also discussed that this leadership without this manager's authority. I think this is something that we covered, how to that you don't need always to have this authority, like power to formal power, to be a leader.
Evelina, you have something to
Oh,
add?
I am not sure that I will add something opposite what guys already said, but for me, yeah, management is about insurance that everything works properly and about some metrics, results, and leadership is about this growth and development, about more about inspiring people than achieving some formal results and gain beautiful metrics. So something like this.
Now, as we are approaching the end of the session, I am posting for our audience the link to the Mentimeter, and I'm again sharing the screen for our audience if they want to go to menti.com and type in the code that you can see here on the screen, 47751106. Our audience can vote for the topic of the next episode. So I encourage each and every one of you to use the opportunity to vote on the topic which we will cover in the episode 12. But as we are waiting for the votes to appear, I have one question to our experts, and the question is: knowing now, knowing what you know now at the start of your career, what advice would you give to yourself in terms of development of your leadership skills? Zhenya, maybe let's start with you.
Read more. Read more about leadership, try to understand people better. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing this, but it's never enough. And probably seek more for feedback. I didn't always do this, like looking for the feedback from other people, being sure that I'm doing the right things. Right now I will do this differently. Maybe just one more thing. Maybe it's coming with an age. I don't know. It's about selecting the battles you are participating in more carefully. So probably some of the conflicts that I was in previously, it would be possible to avoid.
And any particular interesting thing to read? What you would recommend to our audience?
Don't have a list on top of my mind. There are a lot of good books on leadership, starting from Odysseus, ending with some psychology things. You need to read a lot to find the things that will be valuable and that will work for you personally.
Okay. I will just remind the audience of that book I've mentioned, Escape from Freedom by Erich Fromm. Julia, what advice would you give to yourself?
Yes, I was like smiling and laughing when again you were sharing, because my advice to myself would be read less. But you see how it can be different, because for me, and I realized it not so long ago, that it was always some some knowledge that I need to achieve, and I think this is also my internal struggle of this imposter syndrome. Yeah, that I was always seeking for some knowledge that I understood that if I will be equipped with these knowledge books, models, and everything, I will feel more confident. Yeah, so I kind of undermined, undervalued this experience that I had. Yeah, like, and also it's important not only to lean on the knowledge, but also to lean on your own experience. Yeah, so yeah, my advice, though I could recommend a lot of books also, but to myself, I would, it would be more about this self-confidence and leaning on the experience as well. Yeah.
Evelina?
Oh, so I think that if you feel that you want to be a leader, just try and do it. This is main idea. And remember that we all are people. We make our own mistakes, and be gentle with yourself and be gentle with people around you. And as Evgenia told and Yulia, sometimes you need simply time to raise your skills. Yeah.
And don't be discouraged if you at first fail, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's true. Jan, and to what your advice, because you are a great leader and also has your experience.
OMG, you caught me off guard here, so
it was my purpose.
You got me. I need to be quick on my toes now. My advice: be honest to yourself, and if you believe in something, then believe in something and just represent your beliefs, right? And if those beliefs will resonate with other people, then you will follow. You will find followers. If not, people will see that you are artificial, and they will see that you are fake, and they will not find you inspiring. Right? So I would say that would be my advice. But maybe if I would have more time to think about the answer, maybe the answer will be different. But you caught me completely off guard, and that's the first thing that came to my head. But as we can see, the topic for the 12th episode will be the anxiety management. So we'll definitely look for experts who will be able to cover this topic during that session. For now, it is time to finish episode 11. So let me say a very big thank you to everyone who voted. Very big thank you to everyone who participated. And the biggest thanks goes to the experts who shared their experience, their knowledge, and their insights on the topic of leadership. So it has been a great pleasure hosting you here today with me.
Thank you, colleagues,
Thank
for
you
being
very
on
much.
this talk.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Please take good care of
Bye-bye.
yourself. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and I will see you again in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.